Every morning for 3 years, I walked past the same man sitting on the same corner. His name was Arjun, and he never moved from that spot. Same torn blanket, same empty cup, same defeated eyes staring at the ground. One day, I finally stopped and asked him why he stayed there. His answer shocked me, because this is all I'm capable of. This is who I am. In that moment, I realized something terrifying. Arjun wasn't trapped by poverty. He was trapped by something far more powerful, the prison he'd built in his own mind. And today, I'm going to tell you how he escaped it, because his story might just unlock the chains you don't even know you're wearing. The next morning, I brought him tea and sat down beside him on the cold pavement. I didn't know what I was doing. I just felt compelled to understand. "What did you do before this?" I asked gently. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then, barely audible, he whispered, "I used to repair electronics, radios, televisions, small appliances. I was good at it." His voice cracked slightly. "But that was a lifetime ago. I lost my shop in a fire, lost my confidence, lost everything. Now this corner is all I have left." As I listened, I could hear it. The story he'd told himself so many times, it had become his reality. That's when it hit me. Arjun wasn't sitting on that corner because he had no other choice. He was there because he'd convinced himself he had no other choice. The fire destroyed his shop, yes, but the real damage happened after, in the stories he started telling himself. "I'm a failure, I'm incapable, I'm worthless, this is all I deserve." Those thoughts, repeated day after day, year after year, became stronger than any physical chain. His mind had become his prison guard, and he was defending his own cell. I could see it clearly now. If we were going to change his life, we had to start by changing his mind. The following week, I did something unusual. I went to a thrift store and bought a broken old radio, the kind Arjun said he used to fix. I brought it to him without explanation, just placed it in his hands and said, "I'm not asking you to fix it. Just look at it. Just remember." He stared at the radio like it was a ghost from his past. His hands trembled as he held it. Then slowly, almost unconsciously, his fingers started moving, testing the dials, checking the battery compartment, examining the circuits. For 10 minutes, I watched something miraculous happen. The defeated man on the corner disappeared, and someone skilled, focused, and capable emerged in his place. When Arjun finally looked up from that radio, there were tears streaming down his weathered face. "I forgot," he said, his voice breaking. "I forgot I could still do this. I forgot who I was before the fire." In that moment, something cracked. Not the radio, but the mental prison he'd been living in. For 3 years, he'd believed he was useless, incapable, defined by his circumstances. But holding that broken radio, his hands moving with remembered skill, that story suddenly had competition. Reality was whispering something different. You're still capable. You just forgot. And for the first time in years, Arjun chose to believe it. That broken radio became the key that unlocked everything. Over the next few days, I connected Arjun with a small electronics repair shop I knew across town. The owner, Mr. Patel, needed help with basic repairs. Nothing fancy, nothing overwhelming, just simple fixes. When I told Arjun about the opportunity, I saw fear flash across his face. "What if I can't do it anymore? What if I fail?" he asked. I looked at him and said, "You already fixed something far more broken than any radio. You fixed the story in your mind. Everything else is just practice." 3 days later, Arjun showed up at that repair shop, hands shaking but heart determined. For the first week, Arjun would finish his shift at the repair shop and walk straight back to his old corner on the street. Not to beg, just to sit there, as if his body needed proof that this new life was real, that it wouldn't disappear. But each day he sat there a little less. First 3 hours, then 2, then 1. By the second week, he stopped going back entirely. Something fundamental had shifted. He wasn't pretending to be capable. He was remembering that he always had been. The corner hadn't held him. The belief that he belonged there had held him. And the moment that belief changed, the corner lost its power completely. 2 months later, something unexpected happened. Arjun started teaching. Another man from the streets, someone who'd seen Arjun's transformation, came asking for help. Arjun didn't hesitate. He shared what he'd learned, not just about fixing radios, but about fixing the stories we tell ourselves. I spent 3 years believing I was broken, he told this man. But I wasn't broken. My thinking was broken. Once I fixed that, everything else started working again. Watching Arjun mentor someone else, I realized this wasn't just about one man escaping his mental prison. It was about showing others that escape was possible, that the door was never locked. They just had to test it.
Here's what Arjun's story taught me, and what I need you to understand. Your circumstances don't define you. Your thinking about your circumstances defines you. Arjun sat on that corner for 3 years, not because he couldn't leave, but because he believed he couldn't leave. The moment that belief changed, everything changed. Not his situation first, his mind first, then his situation followed. This is the power and the danger of your thoughts. They create your reality more than reality creates them. Every limitation you accept becomes a cage. Every belief you adopt becomes a boundary. Every story you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of becomes the truth you live inside.
So let me ask you directly, where's your corner? What's the place, physical or mental, where you keep returning, even though you know it's keeping you small? Maybe it's a job that crushes your spirit but pays the bills. Maybe it's a relationship that ended years ago but still lives in your head. Maybe it's a dream you gave up on because someone once told you it was unrealistic. Whatever it is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That spot where you feel stuck, where you've convinced yourself, this is just how it is, this is who I am, this is all I can do. I'm telling you the same thing I told Arjun. That corner, that limitation, that prison, it's not real. It's a story, and stories can be rewritten. You have a choice right now. The same choice Arjun faced when I put that radio in his hands. You can defend your limitations, and trust me, your mind will give you 1,000 reasons why you can't change. It will tell you you're too old, too inexperienced, too damaged, too late. It will build you a fortress of excuses and call it reality. Or you can do what Arjun did. You can test the door of your mental prison, not by succeeding immediately, not by having all the answers, just by trying, just by questioning whether the story you've been telling yourself is actually true, or if it's just a story you've repeated so many times you forgot it was fiction. The door isn't locked. It never was. You just have to be willing to push it. Last month, I visited Arjun at his new workshop, his own workshop. Small, modest, but his. He's not wealthy, he's not famous, but he's free. Free from the corner, free from the story that kept him prisoner. Free to be who he always was, beneath the lies he told himself. He looked at me and said something I'll never forget. I didn't change my life by changing my circumstances. I changed my circumstances by changing my mind. That's the truth I want you to walk away with today. You are not your past. You are not your current limitations. You are the story you choose to believe about yourself. And that story, you can rewrite it right now. The corner has no power over you. The prison has no locks. Your mind is waiting for you to realize what it's always been capable of. So what are you waiting for?